Hello, everybody. Welcome to part 3 of our great print, which is going to be the cod who ate the moon. We're coming to you from Vancouver Island, and these are the traditional territories of the Comox Pentlodge people. And we're happy to be on their unceded territory and being allowed to do the kind of work that we do. And we hope everybody gets along great. And let's make some art. So today, in part 3, we're going to be printing a second color in registration with the first. So we're going to show you how to set up and adjust for register and print. And because we're working on the foil, the specialized foil, we use a product called Stick-a-Poo Joy Juice. And geez, look at that guy right on there. That's me, Mom! Because we're working on this specialized foil, we're using a product called Stick-a-Poo Joy Juice. And we developed this with our friends at Speedball Art Products. And our buddy Bud Martin, the chemist, came up with this additive that we can put in the acrylic inks. And originally we were trying to find some way to make those acrylics stick on the foil because they're super popular, the foils, with the rock poster artists. But what we found was that it will work on Coroplast, on Sintra. We did it on vinyl. So there's a range of things that it will allow that ink to stick to. And so that's kind of a cool idea. You don't have to use solvent-based inks to work on the weirder products. So what we're going to do is we're going to mix up the orange color that we need, add a little Stick-a-Poo to it, and then we'll set up onto the press. So now we got our test. Now we're going to mix up enough here to print the job. We're going to start with a bit of white. A little trick with mixing colors is always start lighter and then mix darker. So put the white in there. I don't need a lot of ink for this, but enough to run it. And we're going to put a little bit of orange in. Let's see how that looks. This is a very scientific method here. Stir it all up. Make sure it's mixed really well. You don't want any chunks of dark ink coming down into it. And let's see how that looks. Okay, so we're going to put that beside it. If you can tell the difference between those two, you're better than I am. So we want to mix this, the ratio is 2 to 1 with the ink. 2 parts ink, 1 part Stick-a-Poo. It's going to thin it down a little bit. It's going to give it a bit of transparency. But I think that'll look really good on the foil and let the refractive materials come through. So I think that's about it. We're ready to go print. We're ready to set up and get the print into registration. So we're going to take the, I don't know if you remember this from the other, but this was our setup sheet. We'd drawn the line on it, lined everything up, and I got the X's in the corner and the side indicating where the register tabs are going to go. So I'm going to take this image, I'm going to take the film, and I'm going to line the film up with the bullseyes on here. And then I'm going to tape it in place. So you just check it out here. So this is taped in place. So there's the bullseye printed on the paper. There's the film bullseye. So that's about where we want it to go. Okay, so let's get this set up. That's a nice thing about these rabbit vacuum tables is they pack away so you can put it away in the closet or underneath a table or something like that. And then when you're ready to print, you can set it all up, steal somebody's vacuum cleaner, and away you go. We're going to get a screen now. And we want to make sure that the screen is aligned in this direction because our register bullseyes were here and along this, or the register tabs were here and along the side. So we want it laid out like this, like that. Put it here. So let's clamp these down nice. Give a little plug for these eco frames here from Nortec Graphics. They're great. You can switch out a ripped mesh in about 2 minutes with these things. Okay, that's in. We're gonna put the counterweight in because we want all the, whatever pressure is gonna come into play on this. Before we start moving things around, we want it to be kind of locked in there. So I'm gonna put this over on this side. Okay, that's good. It works up and down. Tighten. Bring that right to the top. Up there. Take this up. Works nice. Okay. Tighten these down. So now I'm going to start to align. So I'm just going to bring this in. And I'm just looking through the screen here, and I can see the bullseyes. So a little tip for you people that are following at home on this. I've taped into about here, and I've taped into about here. And what's good about this is when I print it, my squeegee is going to run on the edge of this. When I get to the end of the print run, when I pull the tape off, we shouldn't have very much ink in the open area here. And so if you're working at home or you don't have the access to a washout booth really quick, this is a nice, easy way of cleaning up on the table, and then you can pull this away, and most of your ink residue is just going to catch on the outside. Okay, we're going to start printing now. We got it all lined up. We've got our stock all ready to go here. The ones that I printed the bullseyes on the first run, I'm going to use those to align everything. Then I'm going to tape out the bullseye underneath, and then we're going to get into printing on the foils. And I'm going to have the vacuum on, so I'm not going to be really talking very much, but this is basically it, and we'll see how we look at the end of it, okay? One thing that we want to do right now is once you've got it locked in here and it looks pretty good, put a piece of tape over top of each one of your register marks or your registered tabs so that they don't get knocked off during the print run or move. If you find when you're printing that you start to get a lot of ink drying in up top here, I call that caking. The way to get rid of that with water-based inks is when you flood, do a regular flood with some pressure here, but then come back. I'm holding it with 2 fingers and I'm not even pressing. What I'm trying to do is get a thick flood down there. And what you'll find is that once you pull that, it takes all the dried ink off the top of the screen. So it's a really nice little trick. Hear me? You should be doing at least 2 a minute. You want to actually do about 3 a minute. And then you won't have any issues with inks drying in on you. and you will get done way, way quicker. I want to take this opportunity to give a shout out to my friend, Carlito Hernandez. If you have to take a slight break, you see what I did there is I pulled the flood and then I flooded it again and I put the thick flood on here. But I want to take this opportunity to thank our friend, John Tillinghast, who is, he's the fancy paper guy. And he's the guy that makes all these foils for us. He's got, I don't know, 40 or 50 different patterns. And we'll put a link somewhere so you can find him. But he's a great guy. He's a real good supporter of the whole gig poster movement. And he's lots of fun. I'm going to show you a little trick with the register guides here. You see that I have my guides right in the corner and then along the one side. So when I'm coming in, I put it in here and I can hold this with one finger and then I can slide this again and I can feel that they're in the guide. And that's going to give me good registration there, because if you can't get them into the guides and you can't stay consistent, you're not going to have good luck registering the next color and the next color. To the end of the run here. So on your last print, don't use a good one, but I want you to do if you're following along and you want to try this at home, do a thick flood on here. See that? And what that'll do is that's going to clean all that ink off of there when I pull it on the last go. Now the other thing is when I'm going to pull my print here, but I'm not going to do a flood. So I'm pulling it, get it all down to this end here, carefully get that off. You see there's no ink there. So we don't have very much ink to clean up. And if I'm careful, I'll just scrape all this stuff up and I shouldn't have much to clean up. I'm going to say that this is the end of part number 3. I want to thank you all for checking in, and want to remind you that this coming Saturday, February 6th, we will have an hour-long show from 12:30 to 1:30 Central Time, Austin Time, Texas Time. And we're going to put the last color down on this so you can see how it works. And you'll be able to meet some of the team here that works at Watch A Studio. And we'd be happy to answer any of your questions about Screen the World, the program, the equipment, and all the fun things that we're going to do in the future. So happy printing, and see you in just a little bit less than a week.